Hey! Hey! You want to talk about music? Let's go into an album from 2007. Good old 2007. Ooze of charisma and spunk and talent. Let's talk about Paramore's second album, RIOT. RIOT.
Todd's thoughts. Todd's thoughts. Todd's thoughts.
Paramore is a pop punk rock group fronted by Miss Hayley Williams. They've been around since like 2005, 2006 on Fueled by Ramen. Their first album, pretty alright, pretty good. There's a couple of bangers on there. All we know is a Fallen, and she was like fucking 15 on that album, which is just mind-blowing, especially when I look at my life and all the things that I have yet to achieve. Does the album still conjure up these gooey feelings of nostalgia that I had when listening upon this record in my youth and feeling like a spunky little girl telling the world, hey, I never meant to brag. I just wanted to fuck your boyfriend. I've always loved this opening track. We started out heavy and fast, bringing the energy skyrocketing, shooting up.
Just talk yourself up and tear yourself down.
Right off the fucking bat, just right off the bat, we hear a lot of spunkiness in the lyrics. This song's a little confrontational. You built your walls, now find a way around that wall. Talking yourself logical fallacies. I think there's maybe a little religious component to this. I feel as we start going through these songs, this one is the least overproduced. As we will see, they will start to introduce other elements that sort of detract from just the music quality. I like my bands to feel like they're in a room of like 50 people and they're just playing their hearts out. They're not looking for fame. They're not looking for a stage. They're just playing some songs in a basement. And that's something that I think their first album has over this one. I like the raw qualities, but Fueled by Ramen was very much about a certain level of polish, a certain type of production, which I guess is what kind of put them on the map and why so many of their artists cross over into the mainstream.
I never wanted to say this.
Hayley Williams is not a strong songwriter, and I know that she co-wrote a lot of these songs with Josh, her trusty guitarist Josh. I'm sure he's still going strong in the band. They put together very straightforward songs that I think are universally easy to understand, but they have a point of view. They're coming from a very specific perspective that gives the song a little bit of an edge, gives it a little more of a punch and connectivity. Let's see if that continues. This one I feel like is the best out of the singles that were released. That opening riff, the da 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 da, it just hits very hard and the snare just sounds tight. The chorus is give or take, depending on my mood. Depending on my mood, you can either kind of laugh sing along with the chorus or you can fully get into it. It does have this fun, cheesy sense to it. And Hayley is like 17, 18 years old at this point. How many relationships have you been through? How many trials and tribulations can one person endure at such a young age? But there is a lot of insight, I think, in here. Why do we like to hurt so much? Why do we put ourselves in situations where we know our happiness is gonna be compromised because, hey, we're in love, man. We're fucking vibing with this person. And that's what you get. You get your heart broken. You get hurt. When you listen to your heart, you get fucking burned, bruh.
That's what you get when you let your heart win.
And And the production's pretty slick on here. You have a lot of dynamic parts. When the song's energetic and when the song's tight enough, then all these little like flourishes and little product extravagance, they don't detract from the straightforward song quality that Paramore is putting out there. Because in reality, they're just a pop band. When you produce a band past their capabilities, you're setting up an expectation for when the audience consumes them live. I personally hate when I go to see a band live and it sounds just like the album. I'm not getting an extra layer, or I'm not getting a more intimate feeling with the artist. I want to see a band live and I want the songs to feel different. I want the texture to be different. When you add in so many production elements that are just incapable of being produced in a live environment, then you're sort of almost setting your artist up to fail, because they have this very slick, tight production, and then when you go and you just have to play on your own talent, then maybe something is lost. And I've seen Paramore live. They're really good live. They put on a really fun show.
Somehow everything's gonna fall.
I start out with the guitar, then the full band comes in with a heavy snare hit, which I guess is kind of a pattern. I guess that's just what they enjoy. This song's very optimistic. It's like everything's gonna fall right into place. We're not giving up. Come on, everybody, let's make this band work. 3.5 minute songs, perfect for the radio. There is a repetitive nature to the songs. Once you've heard the verse, then the chorus, the verse, bridge, chorus, a verse, chorus, a verse, bridge, chorus, you have practically already heard the entire song because they just repeat. Everything changes here with track number 4. It's the track. It's the track. Yo, hit that snare. Now this song is definitely the most bratty of Paramore. This is the song that introduced them to the world. This is the one that blew them the hell up. This song, when taken in context with the album itself, has an outward viciousness that none of the other songs have. So it's almost selling the record on a false promise. Haley did write it and she had reservations about singing it. She didn't want to sing the word whore because she felt like it was morally wrong to call someone that. She is a child at the time. But she's also trying to get these emotions out. This betrayal, this woman. I never meant to brag. I got him where I want him now. This is some psychological warfare. This song has a bite to it, but the production is so poppy. And I like the song, but I thought it was kind of catchy. And really, when I compared it to Hallelujah or When It Rains or even Crush, I felt like it wasn't hip enough, that it was too pop. I didn't think it was going to get on the radio. That was David Bendith, and I think he is the engineer. Yeah, he didn't think the song was gonna work at all, but it turned out being one of their biggest hits. She's got a body like an hourglass. It's ticking like a clock. I don't know if there's much to dissect. I don't know if there's much to break down. It's like, this is a song that made the world fall in love with Paramore, but it's also not the best representation of the band themselves. Poppier than the other offerings on this record, and it does make it feel more juvenile. If Haley were to write this song now, it would have a very different tone, but given the context that they are 17, this song is perfectly adequate.
It just feels so good.
It's such a good guitar riff. You can just... You can just ride that riff out. All the elements in it just work to create something that's so catchy, so memorable. It just lives in your brain and you can't help but smile when you hear it. I do think there is something holding it back from really being a song to connect to, as that kind of high school rage can only fester within all of us for so long before we either move on or it literally kills us. Now, this song seems a lot more evocative of what Paramore would go on to do in their later records. Poppy songs with more of an alternative edge than that punk edge. Every band in 2007 had that punk pop just sheen on it. Easy to produce, easy to sell. Youngsters like it, parents could accept it, and it bridged that gap between the pop charts and then the indie scene, this underground music scene, the Warped Tour. It's a band that the moms don't have to hate their lives while listening to when taking their children to Warped Tour. The song's theming, this like melancholia when it rains, the heaviness of rain and loss and the loss of hope. This is a sharp turn from the first half of the record. This also seems like the most true to Paramore. So it's like the expectation that was set up in the first 4 songs is almost scrapped, because in the later half of the songs pull or launch from this type of sound, this type of model.
Just say it again and mean it.
But that also being said, this is when I start to drift from the record, because I do like the more energetic punk songs, and when we get into like this kind of sad alternative mom rock, I start to drift away, because that's not what I signed up for, baby. You sold me on Misery Business, and then you sold me on That's What It Takes to Get your fucking heart. God damn it, give me something to lift me back up.
What a shame we all became such fragile, broken things.
Just like When It Rains has a minor key feeling to it. It's more dour, not losing your faith in tough times. We're such fragile, broken things, but our memories remain. Even if it is a little cheesy, if it is a little high school philosophy, I still think Haley is exploring real emotions, and that's all I ask for. Regardless of how deep thematic your lyrics are, your songs become, I just want them to come from a true place. Sure, you can write about something that is impersonal to you, and you can make fun concepts out of that. I love the Aquabats. A big reason that Paramore stuck out amongst all the bands, there's just a flood of fucking bands like this, especially by Fueled by Ramen. Fueled by Ramen hit that Fall Out Boy goodness with From Under the Cork Tree. They're like, we're gonna ride this shit, baby. Let's push out as much as we can, as fucking fast as we can. Let's sign everyone. Panic at the Disco, they're the new Fall Out Boy. Eat them, fuckers. The real reason that Paramore stayed out of that just sea of glut is that there is truth to it. They're not just making this band to be famous. They're not just doing this music to get attention. Her voice was always weird in this chorus. It's buried, it's kind of like strained, and she's trying to sing out. If it's a thematic choice, I think it works really well. The sense of being crushed and trying to find your strength to carry through, literally struggling to sing over the chorus. This is how we'll sing, oh, this is how we'll stand when they burn our houses down. This is what will be, oh, glory. There is a lot of biblical imagery, and a lot of these songs are about her faith. I never really got the sense as a high schooler that this music was preaching to me or was about any specific religion. It's just about faith in general. I do find some of the allusions a little far, like when they come to burn our houses down, like, who's burning your house, Haley? What is it, the girl you're talking shit on in Mystery Business? If I was her, I might want to burn your house down too. For the record, I would never burn Haley Williamson's house down. She worked very hard for it. I wish her nothing but the best of luck. All right, let's go with a song that's probably definitely not religious. It's only called Miracle. It's only about a conversation she had with God. This song is another mature one, and you really do see the back half of this album has a completely different tone to it. We're not really getting this riot sense. The record promises a riot. It promises it to be a riot, which means one of two things. Either people physically fighting, a chaotic display of protests and anger, or a fun party. We're just having a riot. We're having a rah-rah riot in our living room. But it's not really fulfilling any of those promises. It's not chaotic and energetic enough to still be this encapsulation of a physical riot, but it's not upbeat and dancing enough to really capture this feeling of a party, of a dance hall riot, of a good time. So the album title almost seems like a false promise. Like, you're gonna have a riot, trust us, this is a big fun party. And then you listen to the second half and all these songs are very thought-provoking, introspective. She's singing about her struggles with depression to God. It's a conversation with whomever she may see there. There's kind of a struggle on my part because they are going above and beyond what is asked of them. From a shitty 2007 pop punk Warped Tour band, but they're also not quite mature enough or talented at this point in their career to really pull off this mature, thought-provoking sound either. If you come in for one, you're gonna get disappointed by the other. On their own, these songs are a lot of fun. In sequential order, they feel very jarring. And nothing is more jarring than going from Miracle to the number 8 track, Crush, Crush, Crush.
I got a lot to say to you.
So MTV or VH1, I don't give a shit which one it was. They used to debut music videos. Come here at Friday at 9 a.m. and we will show you a brand new music video. Oh shit, there's that new Paramore single coming out. You guys better be fucking ready for that shit. Don't forget the music video. Here's a little taste. I did not enjoy the song because it fundamentally does not sound like the Paramore that I was expected to hear from in Misery Business. When I talk about this album being slightly overproduced in parts, I'm mainly talking about this song. There's so many production parts where if you take the verse and the pre-chorus and the interlude and the chorus, they sound all completely detached from one another. You can place them in any order and it doesn't matter. I know that to be true because Fueled by Ramen released a special edition of this album where if you put the disc into your computer, you unlocked a software program where you could rearrange and remix the song any way you could possibly want. And I'm sure if you go online, you can see a whole bunch of these user-generated remixes of Crush, Crush, Crush. It's a dancey electronica song in parts, but then it's a upbeat Paramore chorus. Then it's like this sexy, just almost police sounding verse. It sounds very juvenile in how it's trying to be like, ooh, I got a lot to say. I notice your eyes are always glued to me. They taped over your mouth, scribbled out the truth with their lies, your little spies. It's about a high school crush, and it feels very much how high schoolers think and act. Oh, fucking, I always forget about the bridge. Do we even have to talk about the bridge? Rock and roll, baby.
Rock and roll, hey, don't you know, baby, we're all alone now.
So now that we have this sexy little interlude, this crush, 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 so good you have to say it 3 times. Let's keep it going with Prayer to God, called We Are the Broken. Or We Are Broken. No, we're not the broken. We're just generally broken.
I am outside, and I've been waiting for the sun.
This is the ballad at the end of your album that just gets all your feelings out, and probably to God. Because that's where you get serious with. God knows all your shit, brah. He's been reading your diary. He's been invading your thoughts. He knows your dirty, sinful ways.
'Cause we are broken. What must we do to restore?
Now got the acoustic guitars coming in. It's just powerful. I don't know. I don't care for this song. I think it's just a slow jam. But wait, I thought this album was supposed to be fun. I thought this album was supposed to be a riot, but we only have 2 songs left. What the fuck are we gonna do? It's okay, guys. There's no God in this song. Don't you worry about it.
I'm sitting in a room made up of only big white walls, and in the hall
This song's fine. I don't like what they do with Haley's vocals. They feel very distant from you. Like, Haley doesn't feel like she's the front person of the band. She feels like she's almost singing behind the band in like a booth by herself, and they're just playing it over the crowd. Apparently she wrote these song lyrics across her SAT test paper, which I say betting on the SATs or betting on your sophomoric album hitting big, double platinum. She took the right gamble there, I suppose. I don't know if I ever really like this song. I like the energy behind it, but the production really brings it down. It's almost like the producer, the engineer, they're trying to bring out this feeling and this tone that they started the album out, but it feels very misplaced and almost forced in this song. Like, the production is so specific that it doesn't sound natural. I don't know if that makes sense. I'm not a music critic, but yet here I am critiquing a music.
just living proof that the camera's lying and
We were born for this, motherfucker. Critics, if you don't like our music, well, guess what? Suck it, because we're born for this and you're just fucking haters.
no, I just keep on falling back to the same hole.
This is the most perfect live performing song they could make, and which makes it like a fun closer. They actually held a contest, a vocal contest, which the winners got to do the backup game vocals on the record. That's a lot of fun, having fan engagement, and then when they play live, all that game vocals is basically up to the audience to sing back to the band themselves. And it creates a really nice back and forth between the band and the audience. And hey, we're all bored for this.
It takes acquired minds to taste this wine.
When you follow a very strict formula, music plays, the guitar riff, the melody, and then you got the verse, and then you go down to the pre-chorus, and then you bring it back up for the chorus, and then you go back into that riff, then you go back into that verse, then you go back down into that pre-chorus, then you go into that chorus, and then you go down into an even longer bridge, and then you come back for that big final chorus. We were born for this.
We were born for this.
I like the song in the sense that it kind of captures the serious and the fun tone that they had throughout the record. They are passionate about music, and that's what I appreciate about Paramore. They're not cynical. Hayley Williams is a true performer, and she should do that, and she does, and she's great at it. They're talented people. This is a good record, especially for how young they are. This is much better than any of the shit that I was writing 10 years ago. Paramore's Riot. It's a fun yet juvenile, sometimes serious. It is a well-produced, a little bit overproduced, but hey, that was just the music scene at the time, so how much do we give it a pass? I don't know. That's not for me to decide. I'm not the almighty music god who says, you shall not pass, get out of here. What I can do is give this a slam it or a jam it. Paramore's Riot. 10 years later. Why do I keep it? We're 13 years removed. Holy shit. We're 13 years removed. I give it a soft jam it. A soft jam it because I think it is a solid album. So there you go. I'm Grayson Todd. Thank you for watching my thoughts on Paramore's Riot. Listen to some good shit. Please subscribe if you want to hear more. Comment below if there's an album you want me to listen to and give my horrible opinions on. I don't want to just do this for me. I want to tell you what to think about the things you enjoy as well. Stay swazzy, everybody. Be posy. Listen to some good shit. Toodles.